And welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of the Lost Podcast of Titan, a father and son journey through the sci-fi series that unite our generations. My name is Jeremiah,
My name is Mike.
and we like to discuss those series that we both like and unite our generations. As I mentioned previously, this is not just me scrounging for a good jumping-off point. But right now, we are in Star Trek: The Animated Series, uh, and we are diving into the episode "The Survivor," which was written by James
James
Schirmer.
Emmer,
Schirmer
who
was a
this
liar,
is the
hack, and a
only.
fraud.
Oh, come on! Give him a chance. I mean, this is the only foray into Star Trek that he did. Other than that, he did a lot of other.
Because he was run
television
out of
episodes.
town for being a liar, a hack, and a fraud. I'm just fucking around.
He wrote episodes, and he was the producer of The High Chaparral
I've never
at
heard
the
of
age
that
of
show.
31.
Never heard of that show.
It was a popular Western back.
Also,
in the
stop giving people's ages when they're making these major accomplishments. It makes me feel bad here. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. Maybe
like-
you need to get up off the pot and.
Oh fuck yeah! I was watching like a documentary yesterday about exoplanets, and it's like the astrologist or astrophysicist who first discovered an exoplanet was 28 when he made the discovery, and I just sort of stopped, got up, had existential crisis, drank myself
Well-
to an early grave. You know.
It's like that woman who first discovered erupting volcanoes on the Jupiter moon of Io. It's not that she was actually searching for them. I believe, she just happened to be the one watching the incoming data from the Voyager probe when she spotted the eruption, so she gets the credit for it. Sometimes it's not who you are, how much you know. It's where you are and what you're doing.
Well, the developer of the Voyager probe should have gotten a byline on it. God damn it! It's like, you know,
Oh.
with a layup from the guy who, you know, developed the Voyager probe. Or then there was the girl who collated the data for the image of the black hole or something like that.
Oh,
Do you remember that? Like after Interstellar came out, they actually had a picture of a black hole, and it looked pretty much like what they imagined it would be.
Okay,
You
but
don't?
I don't remember who the name of the person.
Oh, I don't remember either. I just remember, you know,
Oh, okay.
she had like 12 8 terabyte hard drives all in a row. That was where all the data was kept. I was like, Jesus Christ. Holy
I'd like
shit.
to have seen a picture of that.
There was a picture of that. I'll show it to you later. I think I have two
Oh.
things to show you after this. But,
Oh, okay. In the meantime, I was
Yes.
going to throw a completely unrelated mental exercise.
welcome to our Survivor discussion episode, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, let's say, for the sake of argument, that
Uh-huh.
you are living in the Dune universe.
I'm living in the Dune universe.
You're a passenger on a Guild Highline.
I'm a rich motherfucker. Okay.
Something happens, and the Highliner crashes on an unexplored world.
Missionaria Protectiva. Got it.
And and most of the crew and the passengers survive.
Okay.
But there's not an obvious source of food around. So here's my question.
Okay.
If you took the guild navigator and sauteed him in garlic butter or something and ate him,
You'd be delicious.
would that be...
A little spicy, though.
Would you... oh, Lord! Okay. Back to 55. No, would you consider that cannibalism?
I consider it tasty.
Okay, I should have known that that's where you would be heading with this, but
Going
I
off
was
on
admittedly
going off on another tangent.
Uh-oh.
Have you? Okay, I know you watched some gameplay walkthroughs for some stories for some video games. Have you ever
Sure.
watched the walkthroughs of Telltale Games, The Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands?
No, I have not.
It is glorious.
Should I? Oh, should I put? I was going to say, should I put that down on my to-do list?
Yes. Although I would also maybe try and watch like the Borderlands 1 and 2 just so you kind of have an idea of the universe. or at least do a Google or a wiki search for the storylines because it's it's a corporate dystopian future, but with a more comedic bent. But sometimes it hits a little too close to home, like they're laughing and making jokes about things, but you do understand the underlying point, and you're worried that this might not actually be that far fetched in the distant future. So
Okay, I
yeah,
shall make a point of looking
but
to throw out to the
it reminds
audience.
me because there was a crash, and all the accountants on the space station became savage cannibalistic barbarians in this wasteland, and it is amusing. So
There was kind of a Doctor Who episode with that premise, and I
Doctor
just
what?
mentioned it in order. Doctor Who episode with that kind of premise, and I just mentioned that in order to yank your chain a bit.
What the fuck is Doctor Who? Who the fuck would
Yeah.
name their show Doctor Who?
Well, it was a sequel to Doctor Watt and Doctor Y.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so back to Star Trek the animated series. This is the episode of The Survivor where they stumble across who's this guy's name? Carter Winston.
Carter
Yes,
Winston.
the galactically famous trader and long lost philanthropist, who
Yes.
just happens to have his fiance on the fucking
As,
ship. We'll get back to her.
no,
So
she's on the She's on the Enterprise. She's not on his ship.
no, yeah. I mean, like, no, they come across a ship that's in distress. They beam the pilot aboard. It is Carter Winston, the galactic trader, and his fiance is on the Enterprise. He's been lost for 5 years. His fiance is working security on the Enterprise. We're going to get back to that. So,
But we should point out Carter Winston's right hand is well developed. But
right hand
that's
is well
neither here nor.
developed. And also, I'm perturbed again by this line. Like, what was it? The Enterprise has rescued a living legend, the foremost space trader of our time. Carter Winston has acquired a dozen fortunes only to use his wealth time and again to assist Federation colonies in time of need or disaster. This motherfucker, for one thing, it's like what if Bezos kept becoming Bezos and then blowing his money on, actually helping people and bettering the planet, and then doing it multiple times, which is great. But again, what the fuck is wrong with the Federation colonies? Why are there so many disasters that it requires one dude blowing his fortune? And also, I thought we were in the gay communist space luxury automation land here, where there is no money, but yet somehow he has fortunes, multiple fortunes.
And somehow people need these fortunes to gain assistance.
Yes,
No one's doing it for free.
like yeah. Let's bear in mind there are resources, products, services, whatever that these planets need, and then there are other planets in the Federation that are like, oh, we can do that if you pay us. Like, what the hell is this bullshit? But anyway, so everyone is oohing and awing, and Spock asks to see his identification papers, which, or no, not papers, tapes, which apparently everyone keeps on them. The tapes identify
Yeah,
him as Carter Winston, his
this
fiance.
guy's been lost for so many years, and so I presume the spaceship was damaged,
Yeah,
but they beam him on board, and naturally he's supposed to have papers with.
exactly. So they verify his identity, etc., etc., and they go about their business. His fiance comes to visit him, and he's like, "You must forget me. I'm a changed man after 5 years," which
Chuckle, chuckle.
kind of makes sense. Like I could see that. But then the episode goes where Kirk is in the quarters. Carter Winston comes in, and all of a sudden it turns into a tentacled alien, knocks Kirk unconscious, and takes over his form. Dun dun dun. And then Kirk, the fake Kirk, orders the Enterprise into the neutral zone, the Romulan neutral zone. There's confusion. They realize that there's a what is it? What's the creature's name?
Shapeshifter.
Yeah, but isn't there like
Oh, a Vendorian.
there's a Vendorian aboard. Dun 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 dun. And the Vendorian, what is he? He takes over the image of of McCoy. Basically, he's trying to sneak around the Enterprise without being detected. And
Doesn't this sound familiar?
it sounds very familiar, yes. But so the Enterprise is now deep in the Romulan neutral zone because Kirk was unconscious during most of this. Comes conscious again. Um, Goes to like try and steer the Enterprise out of the neutral zone. They're cornered by Romulans. The Vandorian snips the deflector shield coil arrays. Romulans demand surrender and gives them limited time. And through the power of true love, because the Vandoran absorbed the memories of Carter Winston or something like that, or the emotions. So he's in love with his fiancee still, and he becomes a deflector array, or becomes a deflector shield. Period, and saves the Enterprise. Then he agrees to be taken and put under court-martial, or not court-martial, basically trial. But he also saved the Enterprise, so that'll be taken into account. And oh my God, this was an episode, ladies and gentlemen. This was, and I have words for the fiance here. Okay.
Can we hear them?
Oh my fucking God. Okay. Okay, the relationship.
True love triumphs.
Fuck that. She's just hungry for the D. Okay. Now. Okay. So Carter Winston comes back and is like, I'm a changed man after 5 years. I don't think we could get married. That makes sense. If I had 5 years of trauma, I'm not sure I'd be the same person. That's okay.
He definitely wasn't.
However, she is just completely into this alien who just happens to look like her fiance. And even when he reveals himself to what his true form is, all the tentacly goodness, she's okay with it. And she's like, I'm in love with the memory, the idea of Carter Winston. I'm like, holy shit, this is not healthy. Where is the ship's counselor? This is not healthy. This is not the basis of a relationship. And everyone's okay with this. Everyone's okay with this. Holy shit, this was horrific. This was like McCoy back on the Shoreleaf planet, where the girl was almost raped by not Cyrano de Bergerac. Who was the
Don Juan?
Don Juan, right? She was almost raped by Don Juan. She escapes sexual assault into the arms of McCoy, and McCoy leans into it as a chance to get laid. I'm like, dude, no.
Bad McCoy. Bad
Lord.
McCoy.
But yeah, so that really bothered me a lot. The whole idea of her just, even admitting to herself that she loves the memory and idea of her ex-fiance who is now dead and is going to be with this alien who is just going to take over, not become Carter Winston, but use Carter Winston's image to, completely emotionally assault her, I guess. Like, holy shit. Also, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, it makes you sort of wonder what would have happened if in the course of his plot, while he was on the Enterprise, it became necessary for him to assume the form of Anne Norrid, his fiancée.
That'd be weird.
And they run into each other.
Oh, I have an idea about that, but we'll go back to that later.
Okay.
Also, the episode starts with another crop failure and another starving planet.
Yeah.
Like, this is not funny anymore. Like, come on, Federation, get your shit together.
Where was the continuity person at Paramount? He should have spotted this and say, okay, we've already had that. Scratch this out and come up with something else.
Mm-hmm. Oh. But also, this is the first appearance of Ensign Purr, or whatever her name is.
Lieutenant Moress.
Yes, the best crew member on the animated series, best crew member period. She's my number one pick. Yes, sir. Purr.
Voiced by Majel Barrett.
Oh, good for her.
And it was Nichelle Nichols who did the voice of Anne Norrit.
Oh, okay.
And Carter Winston was not voiced by James Doohan, as some might automatically think, but by Ted Knight. Does that name mean anything to you?
Wasn't he in the Batman show?
Which one?
The live action, 1960s.
Well,
Wasn't he the
was
Pharaoh? Or the
he was
Sphinx?
in the. No, you're thinking of that's Victor Bono.
The fact
No.
that you knew who the fuck he was is scary.
Well, what can I say? I'm a fan. He did a lot of voice work. Ted Knight was a major co-star on the old Mary Tyler Moore TV series, but he did a lot of voice work for Filmation back in the 60s. The Batman episodes and stuff he would be narrating.
Oh, so he was
He
the
would
Batman
also
guy.
be-
Okay, all right.
He was doing, meanwhile, at stately Wayne Manor, a shadowy figure appears in Bruce Wayne's bedroom.
Catwoman. Purr.
Well,
hello,
yeah.
hello, Mr. Wayne. Purr.
And Bruce Wayne, pats the side of the bed next to him and says, plenty of room. Which unfortunately did not happen.
That
or else
should have happened. Why is Selena Kyle never decided to rob Wayne Manor?
Well, she did make a visit to Wayne Manor because she had just stolen some crown jewels and the Batman was trying to get them back. So he tricks the Catwoman to come visit him in the Wayne Manor library, I hasten to point out. And Bruce Wayne makes an offer for the crown jewels. Catwoman says, that sounds tempting, but let me think about a few other bids first. And Bruce Wayne says, all right, but here's $10,000 as a down payment. And Catwoman says, ooh, attractive, and takes the money, not realizing that Bruce Wayne has slipped a tracking device into the stash of Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually a lot more story exposition you would find than in this episode of Survivor.
Yeah, seriously.
I think there was a lot going on here, and the subplot between Carter Winston and Anne Norrid was interesting.
No,
This
it was
is
not.
another. Well,
There were so many red flags. It's not even funny.
Well, it's nothing new for you, but maybe if, like the More Tribbles, More Trouble, if this had been expanded to a hour-long episode, we could have gotten more into the nuance stuff like that. That would have made a lot more sense when Anne decided to hook up with someone who she probably realized, hey, he could look like any stud, I could think of, get a picture of from a magazine or something. Yeah. But she went through all that time thinking that Carter Winston was gone, probably dead, and it never occurred to her to pick up her life and
For 5
meet
years.
for 5 years.
And
That's true.
she's a hot little security number here on the most prestigious ship on the in the fleet. Are you telling me that there have been no suitors? Like, come on.
Well, remember, she's a security officer. She carries a phaser with her on casual
Yeah, that just
days.
makes it more attractive. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But let's see. What was hold on. Did I have anything else?
You were going to mention something
Oh,
about...
yes. So, you know who else was missing from this episode?
Who?
Our salt vampire.
No,
Imagine,
you had- now-
imagine if they
oh.
were still on the ship and all of a sudden there are 3 Kirks.
I was going to say, hey, I'm the shape changer on this ship.
Exactly. Like there's a battle
You're-
between
you're
the
a-
Van Doren and the salt vampire. That would have been awesome.
Oh, speaking of which, and at no additional cost to our audience, I went back to the original series and took a census of shape-changing race. And with the Vandorian, we now have 5 shape-changing races in the Star Trek universe.
Also, okay, listen to how overpowered this is. This one could shape change into a deflector shield.
Or a medical examination bed.
Yes.
Which, that to me was stupid scene. Kirk, Spock, and
Oh,
McCoy go
actually,
into the
okay.
sick
To be
bay.
honest, I actually was okay with that because
Really?
he literally had only like a few seconds. It felt like a panicked move. Like
But
I completely buy that.
McCoy, who practically works and lives in sick bay, couldn't automatically tell that there was an additional bed.
Well, it's McCoy. He was too busy thinking about Ensign Per.
Oh, he'd given up on the girl from Shorely.
No,
Not to mention his wife, who's on an asteroid somewhere.
no. Ensign Maress is just who he's with on the Enterprise. Oh, yes. I love Ensign Maress. Number one pick, number one girl. Period.
She was a nice addition to this series.
She was, yeah. But anyway, so that was the Survivor. This is so far it's the low point of the animated series. I'm going to give it a C plus.
Same here.
Oh, okay, C plus. Oh,
It's amazing how we're in more concert with the animated series than we are.
I'm wondering if it's because it's the shorter format that there's less room for us really to deviate.
Not so much deviate, but we can only find just so much fault in a half-hour episode.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. But anyway, let us know which cat-like a crew member of the Enterprise is your favorite, and email us at lostpodcasttitan@gmail.com.
Okay, and y'all behave.
Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.